The hidden truths beneath the grave. I am a widow with 2 young boys, and my life has unraveled into a web of secrets and turmoil that I can no longer control. My eldest son is not the biological child of my late husband, only my youngest is his. This hidden truth, which I believed was known only to me, has become a haunting specter in my dreams. When my husband passed away, I placed his wedding ring in his coffin as a final tribute. The funeral was conducted with the respect and solemnity fitting for a man of his stature, and everything seemed to proceed as expected. However, in the weeks following his death, I began to experience unsettling dreams. My husband appeared, beseeching me to inform his family that they must exhume his body and move it to his hometown for a proper burial. Initially, I dismissed these dreams as a manifestation of my grief, but they persisted night after night, growing more insistent. Driven by a desperate need for clarity, I visited the cemetery where my husband was buried. What I encountered there left me in a state of profound shock. To my horror, I discovered that the body of my deceased ex-boyfriend, the father of my eldest child, was interred in the adjacent grave, right beside my husband. This discovery was more than unsettling, it was deeply frightening. I felt a cold sweat break out as I grappled with the horrifying realization that the secrets I thought were mine alone to bear were now exposed. My dreams continued with relentless frequency, my late husband's spirit demanding that I rectify the situation, move his body to his hometown, and disassociate his name from my firstborn. I woke from these dreams in a panic, unable to comprehend how my late husband knew of the paternity secret I had guarded so closely. The realization that others might have known about the true paternity of my child was staggering. I had assumed that only my ex-boyfriend and I were privy to this secret, but it seemed that the knowledge had somehow escaped our control. Let me provide some context to understand why this secret remained hidden. When I discovered I was pregnant by my ex-boyfriend, he vehemently refused to acknowledge the child. He was indifferent to the situation, leaving me to navigate the consequences alone. My family had rigid beliefs against abortion, so I had no choice but to carry the pregnancy to term. During this turbulent period, my now late husband was pursuing me eagerly, wanting to marry me and provide a stable family environment. Faced with this dilemma, I confided in my ex-boyfriend about my intention to marry another man. He remained detached and indifferent, stating that the responsibility for the pregnancy was mine alone. I proceeded with my decision to marry my late husband, who accepted my pregnancy and embraced my child as his own. This decision seemed to provide a fresh start, and my new husband welcomed my firstborn with open arms, believing him to be his biological child. As our life together unfolded, I continued to see my ex-boyfriend occasionally, which I now realize was a mistake. However, as time passed, I grew to appreciate my husband's genuine affection and commitment to me and my children. Eventually, I decided to sever ties with my ex-boyfriend for good, focusing on my family and our future. When my husband passed away, he left the majority of his estate to my eldest son, convinced that he was his biological heir. This decision has caused immense distress, particularly because I never imagined that anyone else knew about the true parentage of my firstborn. The truth of the matter remained hidden until my husband's death triggered a series of supernatural occurrences. My husband's family has since been relentless in their pursuit of answers. They claim that my husband's spirit has appeared in their dreams, insisting on the exhumation of his body and the revision of his will. They have sought guidance from spiritual leaders, all of whom have directed them to me for the truth. Their insistence has led to a cascade of events that have only intensified my anxiety. To make matters worse, my eldest child has been plagued with a mysterious illness since my husband's death. Despite numerous attempts to find a cure, his condition has worsened. I am acutely aware of the cause of his suffering but am paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. The only solution my late husband's spirit seems to demand is a revision of the will and the renaming of my firstborn, or my child's suffering will escalate into something even more dire. The pressure from my late husband's family has been unrelenting. They have bombarded me with calls and visits, forcing me into a corner where I feel I have no escape. To avoid their relentless inquiries, I have changed my contact information, but they continue to show up at my doorstep, desperate for answers. I am terrified of confronting the truth and the potential repercussions of my actions. If I alter the will and change my firstborn's name, I face the challenge of explaining these changes to my child, who is already struggling with his health. If I refuse to comply, I risk further exacerbating his condition. In my darkest moments, I discovered that my ex-boyfriend's death was the result of a curse. He had wronged someone by pursuing their wife, leading to a deadly curse. This revelation only adds to the web of confusion and dread that surrounds me. Now, I am trapped in a nightmarish situation, grappling with impossible choices and haunted by the ghosts of the past. The secrets I once thought I could manage have spiraled into a crisis that threatens to destroy everything I hold dear. The weight of these revelations is overwhelming, and I am at a loss as to how to navigate this treacherous path.
If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating tales. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.